making sure my radio was working there. Roger?
Hey, yeah, you sounding good, Preston. Paul will be in here in a minute. He's probably trying to set up that video thing.
Roger, roger. All right, then. Have a good night that way.
Okay, man, we'll catch you later. KE4SYB.
Hey, very good, guys. Sorry for the long delay. Yeah, I was doing my computer wrestling as usual. Had some difficulties. Don't even ask. It's frustrating. If I had all the time back I've messed with restarting, starting, redoing, figuring out computers in the last 30 years, I could add 5 years to my life. Anyway, is the frequency in use besides what we haven't heard or have heard? Very good. My name is Paul, K4PEW, with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? You're too slow. Then there isn't any. All right, very good. If you do have an emergency, please call 911 or call us if you can't get anybody on 911. We'll be glad to help, unless it's a broken down car or you're trying to move a body. For information on this net, see our website at Yahoo Groups, MJ_SS. That's Mike Juliet _Sierra Sierra. Or on our website, our other website, our real website is, what is it? 146415.net. And 146415.net. It should be easy to remember if you're on frequency. If you're off frequency, you won't get the website. And lots of good information there about us and the net. We normally meet at 8 p.m. Or also you can email at k4pew@arrl.net. The net normally meets at 8 p.m. every Saturday and Wednesday evening at 8 p.m., of course. And we conduct the net as always on 146.415 Simplex. And that's 146.415 megahertz Simplex. The purpose of the net is to support and train ham radio operators for emergency communications, hoping we never have to use it. We invite everyone to use the net to announce events and activities, training, etc. for the local community. It's a directed net, and all traffic should be coordinated by net control. Is there anybody with announcements? All righty. Tuesday night is the Vanderbilt Amateur Radio Club's net on 443-800. That's 7:30. That's a plus offset and a 123 PL. That's the Vanderbilt Club's net, 443-800. And then, of course, Wednesday night is our net. And Wednesday night, let's see, Thursday's Thanksgiving. And I'm pretty sure they're going to do a net on Thursday night on the Wilson County Amateur Radio Club's Aries net, but I'm not positive about that. But anyway, let's move on. Any other questions or need information on those announcements?
I got an announcement.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
We're having the Wilson County Emergency Preparedness Net Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. local time on the frequency of 442.125 with a PL of 100. And that's plus.
The Emergency Preparedness Net. Okay. And that obviously is a repeater, one of the Wilson EOC's repeater. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, very good. Jeff has an announcement from the Wilson County Aries Group, and they're having an Emergency Preparedness Net Tuesday. That's just every Tuesday. Is that every Tuesday or just this Tuesday?
Every Tuesday.
Okay, very good. An Emergency Preparedness Net every Tuesday. It's on 442.125 with a plus offset and a PL of 100. And that'll be a nice opportunity to just check in and see what's going on and help be prepared with the WEMA Aries group as well as the WEMA EOC. I'm not sure what they call. What else do they call that? The WEMA. What is it?
Wilson Emergency Management Agency.
Okay, very good. Wilson Emergency Management Agency. I think I knew that. I was thinking there was another attached name to that, but well, very good. Appreciate that information, Jeff. Remember, mark your calendars for Tuesday, and that's at. Did you give me the time on that?
8:30 local.
Okay, very good. I'm glad I asked because if you said it, I didn't write it down. 8:30 local on 442.125 with a plus offset and a tone of 100, and that's an Emergency Preparedness Net. Very good. Appreciate that, Jeff. Any questions on that? Cool. All right. Well, let's move on. Is there any other announcements? All right. Well, the only other announcements I have, of course, are immediately following the 2-meter net. We're going to do the buy, sell, swap, and swindle net. If you got something to sell or buy, or you're looking for something, let us know right after the net. And then, of course, we'll do the 2-meter upper sideband on 144.240. That's sideband, upper sideband, 144.240. It's on 2 meters. So if you have any questions about that, let me know now. All righty, that's all I got. And of course, I'm on the YouTube live feed. I see there's 6 people on there. That seems like quite a few, actually. More than now, down to 5. I'm starting to lose the crowd here, but doesn't really matter. We got everybody on the air. But if you're interested, you can go to either K. You can look me up on YouTube on their search block for K4PEW, or you can reach me via the Brain Trusts. It's BRAINTRUSTS channel. One of those two will get you there. And if you can, subscribe. And if you like, you can hit notifications so that every time I'm on the air, you just automatically get known. So not that I'm on the air that much. It's just for nets. Well, it's pretty much for nets. I don't get on the air just to blab around. Or on the web, I should say. All right, very good. Let's move on to the check-ins. And there are no announcements or questions, correct? All righty, then we'll move on. And we'll start from the south this time. Who we got south of 40, please come in.
KN4CCQ.
Hello, Preston. By the way, everybody, I forgot to say again that I'm sorry I was late. Computer wrestling. Yep, how you doing, Preston? You sound good?
I does, right? Just trying to get in before Larry over here.
Yeah. You talked to him earlier just to give him a head fake?
Yeah, maybe. I'll get even to you, Paul. Sounding good over this way.
All right, very good. That's Preston, Kilo November 4, Charlie, Quebec. And he's over in Possum Trot. And you can look up where that is because I can't give you a firm route and destination there, but he's over in Possum Trot. Anyway, who else we got this south of 40?
Kilo Echo 4, Sierra, Yankee Victor.
All right, Larry. Yeah, he beat you to it, man. What happened?
I'm slowing the trigger. And Possum Trot's just about 3 miles northwest of Bojacks.
Northwest of what?
Bojacks.
Bojacks? How's that spelled?
Just like it sounds.
Well, it could be Bojax, but I'm guessing it's Bojacks.
That's right.
All right, very good. I don't know where that is either. Is that just another crossroads with a sign?
Yes. It's a little store.
Okay. Very good. I think that's how Mount Juliet started, and unfortunately, it's now up to it's the largest city in Wilson County. If you can believe that.
It's a growing little place, all right. So we'll let you get on with it, Paul. KE4SYV.
Yeah, very good, Larry. Good to have you in there. There's Larry. That's Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor, and he's in Rockville. Just learned of another new town named Bojacks. I'll have to look that up. All right. Who else we got south of 40?
Kilo Delta 4, Zulu John Yankee Ed in Shake Rag, Tennessee.
How you doing, Ed? Yeah, good. See, somebody doubled with you, but hold on, whoever doubled. So, Ed, you sound good again?
Oh, thank you. Appreciate you letting me in. Hope everyone's doing well tonight.
Yeah, you're like 10 over S9. Easy, and you sound nice, good audio.
Well, good there. I want to throw out my hometown here of Shake Rag. That's about 5 miles out of Shelbyville.
How's it? Shake Rag?
That's true. That's where I live, actually. Shake Rag. It's a little small community. It doesn't have a store. It used to have a schoolhouse. That's how it got its name.
Wow, that's another good one. I got to say, I hadn't seen that one either. Is it on the map that way as Shake Rag?
No, it's not. No. The schoolhouse was about 2/10 of a mile from where I live in the corner of the road, and the way it got its name, the teacher was set in the doorway when the recess was over and shake her handkerchief to get the kids to come back in because she didn't have a bell. And people got to seeing her shaking a rag every time and standing in the door, so people got to call it a Shake Rag.
I got you. Yeah, names come by the funniest things. Yep, shake rag because the teacher would shake her handkerchief trying to get the kids back in school after recess. That's pretty funny. Very good. All they did was uh, all they did was call us, and I guess we went in. I don't know. I guess we were just not very innovative there. All right, very good, Ed. Good to have you in there. That's Ed down. Well, he's actually from. He lives in Shake Rag, but he's really. He says he's from Shelbyville, since everybody knows where that is. Thanks for being there, Ed. That's Kilo Delta 4 Zulu Golf Yankee, and a great signal as always. Who else saw the 40?
KE4CYJ, November Yankee, Bill.
Hey, Bill, hold on one second. That's November Yankee. And I had, I think it might have been a triple in there, but I had Jim in there, KE4TYJ.
Apparently it's getting tough to check in nowadays, but I'm here from Woodbury, Cannon County, KE4TYJ.
Yeah, very good, Jim. You sound good. Great signal as always. You got today and tomorrow off, I take it.
Yeah, and then back at it, and got Thursday off, and then work Friday and Saturday, then off again Sunday, back to work on Monday.
Yeah. I haven't had to work in a while, but I still miss it, even though it's been 9 years, 8 years. Yeah, I miss working because I've gotten real lazy in my retirement. But I'll catch you later, Jim. I did hear Bill in there, NNY. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay, and I hope everybody else is too. And just sitting here trying to figure out what I'm going to do for Thanksgiving. What Waffle House to go to, in other words.
Do they do a Thanksgiving meal, or do they do like turkey sandwiches?
Yeah, they just do the same old thing all the time. But I do think Cracker Barrel's open, though.
Well, I'm going to advise. I love Cracker Barrel, but I advise against going on Thanksgiving because it is packed. Plus, even if you order food, you might get it, you might not, because they run out of stuff because they're so busy.
Yeah, they're very busy here on Thanksgiving. I only tried that once.
Yeah, it's. I know it is. Yeah, the one time we did, I said, "No, I like it, but I'm not going back. I'll go the following day to get turkey or something, not Thanksgiving Day." And actually, it's better at home anyway. It really is. You can enjoy yourself. Although either way is good. All right, Bill, you sound good down there from Murfreesboro. Everything else will go on your way this week?
Oh, yeah, things are doing fine. I'm just trying to go through some old papers on frequencies and stuff and try to update some of it.
Yeah, I know. I was just looking. In fact, it was funny. Somebody asked me about that, and I was saying, well, let me. So I looked and see where my programmers were for programming. I don't know. I guess I have 3 or 4 different programs for different radios. I couldn't remember where I kept the programs in the computer. I hadn't done it in a year.
Yeah, I have that trouble with that little bow phone all the time. I do it, and then I can't figure out how I done it.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah. In fact, that's the life of computers. Every time, well, not every time, but oftentimes I'll do something I don't do too often. I go, how did I do this last time I did it? And I guess if I kept notes, which I sometimes do, it'd be helpful. But anyway, Bill, it was good to have you in there. That was Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee in Murfreesboro. Another great signal, of course. Appreciate you being there, Bill. Who else south of 40?
K4 OFO.
Hey, Donnie. Sound good? Things going well your way on such a nice day?
Yeah, got a little bit done outside today. A little nice. Wasn't too cold, so hopefully I got caught up just a little bit. Not a whole lot, but a little bit anyway. Good to hear everybody on the net tonight. 7 to 3 stalled. I hope everybody has a very nice Thanksgiving. If I don't get a chance to get on the net next Wednesday for some reason or another, back to you.
Yeah, very good, Donnie. Good to have you in there. That's Donnie, Kilo 4 Oscar, Foxtrot Oscar, and he's about 5 miles south and just east of Mount Juliet Road, actually in Davidson County, but we still like him. Who else south of 40? Please come in.
K1 SPD.
Hey, Scott. Sound good? Everything going well?
Yeah, we just tied the game up again, so it's going good.
Tied up at what? In what period?
About 6 minutes into the second, it's now 2 to 2.
And as you know, that don't mean nothing.
Say again?
It doesn't mean nothing at this point at 2 to 2.
Yeah, that's right. Starting from scratch. All right, back to net. K1 SPD.
Yeah, I went to a hockey game when Minneapolis still had a team, light years ago, back in the 80s. And I stepped out to the hallway to have a cigarette. You couldn't smoke in the stands. That's when I still smoked. That's how long ago it was. And there was these three drunk young men out there whooping it up because Minneapolis, who was at the bottom of the roster, next to the what do you call it, the Maple Leafs, who was that's the only reason I went because it was my old team when I was a kid, and they're out there just whooping. The two of them were just going crazy how they're kicking the butts of the Maple Leafs, and the other guy finally said, "Hey, this isn't the Stanley Cup Finals, guy. We're beating a team that's worse than us."
Well, we finally did score another power play goal. I think that's what, 3 for this year?
Well, how many games are they into that season? I haven't been keeping up.
What, 17 maybe? 18 tops?
Yeah, okay, well, it's not too bad. Yeah, they've only got another, 50 to go? I don't remember how many games they play.
Yeah, what, 82 games, I think.
Okay, I didn't remember how many games they play. Well, very good, Scott. Enjoy the game. That's Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta and Laverne with a great signal. Who else we got in there south of 40?
Hey, one other thing. You said the sideband was going to be on what?
144, 240, I think.
144, 240. Gotcha.
Yeah, very good. Who else we got south of 40? Anybody else south of I-40? Please come in. We'll come back to you. East of Mount Juliet Road, please come in.
WA4ZHI.
Hey, James. Everything going well with your family?
Yeah, everything's going pretty good. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, that's good. You know, I got my own issues here. One of my old friends wrote me and said, "Hey, can I meet you for lunch?" I said, "Yeah." You know, I said, "Sure." And the same thing. I got relatives coming, but we try not to tie up the house too well just because of the issues we have here. With it's a struggle for. I'll say it's a struggle. It's a struggle dealing with it at least emotionally, or I'm not sure the right word. My mother-in-law is declining due to Alzheimer's, so it creates a different thing going on. So it's hard to have a lot of people over.
Yeah, we've been through that in the past too in our family.
Yeah, I just hoping I can avoid that. But I think if you have Alzheimer's, you won't know the difference.
Oh, that person doesn't know the difference, but you will.
Oh no! If I have that problem, you see, if I have that problem, I won't know the difference. Well, let's put it this way: I hope I don't, and I hope I don't know the difference. Yeah, that's a real tough disease or whatever they're calling it. But yeah, we see it, and it's tough. Anyway, I did some work in an Alzheimer unit some years ago when in the air conditioning business. It was occupied, and you get a real interesting view of how people really decline in that situation. But anyway, thankfully, we're all seemingly in reasonably good shape mentally. And James, it was good to have you in there. You had a great signal. That's a Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India, and he's here right in the middle of Mount Juliet. Who else east of Mount Juliet Road?
Whiskey Delta 4 Bravo Whiskey Charlie.
Hey, Jeff. Yeah, thanks for that announcement. Is that just a new thing you guys just started on that frequency?
Yeah, we're starting up again. This time we figured we'll announce.
Yeah, and if I may make a recommendation, is to send out email reminders to the club members or whoever else is associated with WEMA, as far as hams go, because it really is, it's hard for me to remember nets that I'm not doing. You know what I'm saying? I have to put reminders in my system. And in this case, if I get reminders from somebody, I usually will respond.
I will suggest it.
Yeah, no, really, it's a good method. And it's not really, you're not trying to kill people with messages. You just want to make sure they remember. And most people, I think, appreciate it. I can't remember the last time I got a complaint about an email reminder about a net. I don't recall anybody complaining, but they're welcome to. I'll take them off the list. But you know what I'm getting at. It's a good way to remind people about the nets.
I do it myself. I put a reminder on like your net.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only way to do it. Well, Jeff, we appreciate you checking in and appreciate that announcement on the WEMA nets that are on. I'll say it again. It's It's an emergency preparedness net on Tuesdays at 8:30. It's going to be a weekly event, and that is on 442.125 with a plus offset and a PL of 100. Very good. Thanks, Jeff. Who else south of east of Mount Juliet Road? Anybody else east of Mount Juliet Road?
KG4, my thing.
What, are you just holding out for more money?
No, I was gonna let everybody go ahead of me. I didn't. That's why I didn't double key with anybody. But yeah, figured the silence was my cue. Yeah, you say you don't get no complaint. I'm a complain all the time now. Tag on email reminders. No, I'm not complaining. There's not a whole lot going on over here, Paul. It's same old stuff. Just different day. Back to you, KG4, my thing.
Yeah, I hear you. I even complained about my own reminders, and I have to do something. Every time I send myself a reminder, I got to do something. You know, in fact, I hate it when I have a reminder to myself, and of course, I keep good track of it, especially for any medical appointments and my mother's medical appointments. And I'll tell her, I said, listen, we got to be ready on Wednesday, blah blah, whatever time, and we need to leave by this time. And then the night before, she'll go, don't we have a meeting don't we have a doctor's appointment tomorrow? I'm thinking, yeah, I know. I'd already told you about it. It's already scheduled. It's just like she has to behave like the mother, and I'm almost 70 years old. She still treats me like a little kid.
Yeah, I imagine it's pretty rough over there. Well, I don't know what to say about that. You got me at a stop. I'm standing on. All right, well, let me pass it on. I get on with the net there. I'll get back with you here in a little while. You gonna be on after the net or after the sideband portion?
I should be here, Lord willing. My wife don't shoot me. So no, I was. It's not that bad. It's kind of like living in as long as you can have I'll say a good attitude, and I do have a positive attitude about most things. It's just that I feel like I'm living in a sitcom. It's some of the things that go on when there's two old ladies and my wife and 5 dogs, 2 birds, and 2 parakeets. It's like a never-ending battle of, and not to mention all the other stuff that goes on, the ham stuff, etc. And the dogs. The dogs are a riot a minute. All right. Anyway, it's fun. It's a little bit of pain in the neck, but it's fun. All right. Anybody else east of Mount Juliet Road?
KE4TWL.
Hey, Wes. Sound good from the house there. You still running, what are you, 50 watts?
Yes, and I've heard most people tonight. You're sounding good. Lots of airplanes flutter tonight, I've noticed, for whatever reason. But everything's good out here in the far east part of the county. KE4TWL.
Yeah, it's airplanes and those black helicopters, man. They're monitoring us. That's what they're doing.
Obviously.
Now, you're S5 here into my station, West, so you're doing real good. Is my signal still like S3 to you?
S3, and then the airplane flutter will bump it to a couple of S units.
I'll have to send over a couple of my Sky King aircraft over. Or a large balloon.
Drone.
There you go. One of those drones. The drones with the aluminum particles in it. All right, Wes. Good to have you in there. That's Wes, Kilo Echo 4, Tango Whiskey, India, and he is in just a little bit north of Watertown in the southeast part of the Wilson County. Who else east of Mount Juliet Road? East of Mount Juliet Road? All right, we'll get another chance. North of Lebanon Road, north of Division Street. Please come in. Anybody north of Mount Juliet Road?
W9 EOQ. KB9.
Yeah, hold on, KB9. I did see your Whiskey 9, Bravo, Oscar, Quebec. How you doing, Dennis?
Good. I'm in a house on my worst antenna build ever. I have a 2.5 to 1 SWR on this frequency, so it's coming down tomorrow.
Yeah, that's not good. Did you do it somehow differently that it turned out so bad?
No, I'm suspecting it's old coax. I'm going to swap out the coax first thing, because every antenna I put in my attic is function sort of normally in my barn where I build it, and then when I get it up in the attic, it fails on me.
I've had that. I did one. I put an antenna, and I had it in my attic, and it was a special build antenna. I'll spare you the details. And I hooked up this, and I couldn't get it. I messed with that antenna for a couple, 3 hours, trying to figure out why. I don't have an antenna analyzer. And then I finally realized it was a bad coax.
So, but I did finish my dipole today, and I put little balls on the end. I'm not sure what they're for, but I've read they're mostly so people don't poke themselves in the eye. But I got at 146 megahertz, I got 1.0 to 1 SWR.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. You hit it right on the nose.
Yeah, but now, like I told you, when I use higher wattage, like that was just with a MFJ. It's a standalone SWR meter. In other words, it sends out pulses at that frequency. It doesn't have an input, in other words. But I notice when I go to a transmitter, the more wattage I put into my antennas, the higher the SWR goes. I didn't know that was something to be considered.
Yeah. Well, I doubt. I guess I would suggest to you that it isn't 1.0. It's got something going on there that it's got but having the higher wattage is going to create other issues with everything from heat to, and that little bit of heat and that much. When you're going, what, 50 watts?
Well, I haven't tried it yet, but I mean, when I tried it before, when I was like building a prototype for this, as soon as I put in higher wattage, SWR would go up. It was still good though. It was still like 1.3 or 1.2, but it wasn't that 1-to-1.
And you were doing it on the same frequency?
Same frequency, just different radio, higher wattage.
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna let somebody who's had much more experience try to figure it out than me. I can give what I think it is, but it doesn't work. I did like your joke though about the 23andMe or whatever that's called. Somebody doing their DNA test.
I was thinking about telling that to the net tonight, but maybe next week.
Yes, it still makes me laugh. And of course, what do you expect them to think? What she said. All right, Dennis, appreciate you coming in from Castellan Springs. That's Whiskey 9 Bravo Oscar, Quebec. And what kind of antenna? Which antenna are you using tonight?
But it's just a dual band ground plane that I built from the second one I built. The first one works great. The second one I built to put in my attic, and I built it off of a YouTube video by ZZ. His name is Dave, and his call sign has 2 Z's in it. I just can't remember what it is, but he's got tons of videos. So I built that antenna, and it just didn't work or unless it's the coax, it just didn't work like the first one. So back to that, WNIBOQ.
Yeah, very good, Dennis. And we had, that was Dennis from Castellan Springs, and it's Whiskey 9 Bravo Oscar, Quebec. Great signal tonight. Who is the Kilo Bravo 9 station right on top of it?
Juliet, False Break, KB9RTK.
Yeah, that was a rarity. I should have recognized your voice, but I couldn't. Who else has it? It's the only 2 9 calls I think we have that have ever called in on the list. But how you doing, Frank?
Good. Yeah, because I'm listening to YouTube. I heard them like underneath there, and I cut out. That's why I cut short.
Very good. No, you're doing fine. It's so funny. I'm sure you've encountered it, but somebody will double, and you'll say, "Hey, there was a double in there. Try again." And they both try again, and they double again. You say, "Okay, let's one more time," and they both double again. You say, "Okay, listen, I give up."
Yeah, I guess I was trying to avoid that.
No, it's almost like a Three Stooges routine. When people don't know when the other one's keying, and so that, or you get both of them stay silent. That's even funnier.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened. We were trying not to double, and you were like, "Okay, there's nobody on the north side."
Yeah, no, it's just funny how that happens. There's no other way around it, though.
Yeah, we're gonna do. But hey, it worked out okay.
All righty. So you and Jeff and all the other people over there, and that include everybody in Wilson Aries? Is that correct, or is the Wilson Club the total participants in that emergency preparedness net?
I think they just want to get as many people as they can to to see how the repeater works. That's the one. That one is over in off of Taylorsville.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Yeah. You heard what happened on the Rutherford net this month, didn't you?
Negative.
Well, they're holding their routine Simplex net, and then the net manager, who is the whatever that title is for the EOC, for the Rutherford County EOC emergency, whatever, president, I don't know, presidente, I'm not sure what they call him, chief of staff, whatever the title is. He said, okay, now we've got the check-ins on the Simplex, but they didn't go too far. Is okay, we want to do a simulated emergency test at SET. So he goes, we're going to go to the repeater, and we're going to, and it was a designated repeater they always use, I guess, and we're going to pass some traffic. So everybody switched over to the repeater, and he started to pass this radiogram, and he was working away all the way through it. He got near the end of the radiogram, and the repeater went down.
Whoa! Well, yeah, that's why you got to have Simplex.
Oh, it was just funny because I thought, did he plan it this way? It was just me that thinks that way.
Well, no, we get it. Yeah, that's why I started. When I try to get to the meetings, I try to do the Simplex from there for that reason.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just it was a good illustration, because then some people would go, well, and what was funny was everybody managed to get over to Simplex, or most everybody, I guess. And then the repeater was back up. I tested it maybe a couple of minutes later, and it worked. But it was just interesting how you really do have to have a fixed alternate frequency no matter what you do, just so in the event of problems.
Absolutely, and I know that before I was ever in the regular club, they always had a Simplex frequency in case the repeater went down and there was an emergency.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a lot of clubs or groups like that, they'll use the output frequency of the repeater, as the Simplex frequency, which isn't a bad idea. I mean, the repeater doesn't care.
Right, and I like doing that. That's what we did up north. Is you use the output that way. If people are tuned in, you can tell them that they can hear you. Hey, the repeater's down. Switch over to Simplex.
Yeah, listen, you got to learn by now. Never say in the South, that's how we did it up north.
I know. I think they could tell anyway from my voice. Watch your mouth.
That's what I'm saying, man. I learned. I've been in the South now for however long I've been here. Total about 42 years, 43 years. You just don't say that's how they did it up north. Dumb.
Yeah. Well, I didn't intend it anyway, other than up by my house near, I guess, Chicago suburbs. If that makes any sense to anybody, I guess they know where that is. Not saying that they don't do it here. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, no, it's just a joke. It's even worse. You said Chicago, man. It's like saying New York or Brooklyn. No, Frank, appreciate the input on that. I was just joking with you. It does fit wrong though. It's kind of like you're being in a group meeting at work and somebody says, how I did it on the last job I worked for. And you go, we don't care. We don't really care.
Yeah, it wasn't intended that way, but I am guilty of that second one. I do that at work all the time.
No, I know. I was just having fun with it because it is funny when people say that, don't they? And you don't hear that too often about that up how we do it up north. When I worked in Tampa, people would come into our shop because I managed the maintenance shop at the hospital. I had a couple of people come in. One of the guys I remember distinctly, he came in and he was like you rolled up everything you think about New York City, and he come and that was him. He acted, hey, how you guys doing? And hey, nice to meet you. What's up? He said, yeah, my wife's in the hospital. I just got to come out here and chew the fat with you guys. Yeah, it's okay, good, okay, good. And he's like, and then he starts telling us, he goes, and he's thinking Tampa's a small town, which by comparison, it is a small town compared to New York City. He goes, in New York, we can get anything we want in New York, any time of the day or night, goes on and on and on. And the whole time I'm thinking, why do you got to come in here and tell us? We don't care. We don't care what you can or can't get in New York. Give me a break.
Yeah, no, understood. Yeah, and we have some of those in our office. Well, it's actually New Jersey, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's just funny. It's just a funny cultural issue that goes on. Well, I appreciate you being there, Frank. And that's Kilo Bravo 9 Romeo Kilo Kilo with a great signal. And he is in also northwest Wilson County. Anybody else north of Juliet Road?
WB0NOO.
How are you, Mark?
Doing good, Paul. Don't really have anything for the net tonight. I've been listening, hearing most everybody, and it beats watching TV.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. Well, TV is, you got to be careful what's on TV. By the way, I never got to ask you. Is that the regular call you got when you got licensed, your call?
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked that.
Well, the reason I like it is because the last four, it looks like, oh no.
Yeah, I've heard that before. But that is an original issue from about 1974, I think.
Oh wow. No, it's great. It's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's actually an easy call to remember because of that. I think I may have told you that I've got one here on the somewhere. I don't know where it went. Yeah, I got a coffee cup with the name on it. And anybody who's on the air, it's the ARATS Club. And it's their call sign for the club is a regular issue call to an early member back in the 40s. And he got the call randomly somewhere in the either late 40s or early 40s, and it's W2SEX.
Like K9DOG.
Anyway, it's just funny how, and they kept up the call, and they kept up the club. That's the club call, and he's since passed on. Interestingly enough, the guy that we're talking about here, that fella, he went to school with my dad and my his brother in high school, so they knew him. But anyway, he's since passed on. And Mark, it's good to have you in there. You're in Old Hickory, correct?
Yep, by the weather station.
Oh, that's right, by the weather station. Very good. That's Mark. Whiskey Bravo 0, November Oscar, and that's Mark in Old Hickory. Great signal. Of course, it's not too tough to me. Who else do we have north of Mount Juliet?
WY4G.
Hey, Jeff. How are you doing tonight?
Just hanging out, listening to the net, and just waiting to check in.
And you have been copying more stations, I take it.
Oh, yeah. Quite a few more than what I'm usually used to not hearing.
Well, I sure am glad you didn't go out and buy an expensive antenna and then find out that your thing was all messed up. Your attenuator was on.
Yeah, well, the better antenna is going to come in the future, so we'll do a dual band radio, but right now I'll just use this. It suits its purpose.
Oh, absolutely. No, it does a great job to me. You're like over S9 to me, about 10 over S9. I was just I for laughs, for grins, for fun. I looked up again a crank up motorized 100-foot tower, excluding the concrete base and any antennas and or cables, going to run about $28,000. So if you're looking in that area, I can help you out.
Well, when I hit Mega Millions of Powerball, get a little bit more real estate, I'll check into that.
Now, can you imagine somebody having the ability to spend over $30,000 on a tower?
Yeah, I'm sure some people do it that have the cash in hand. Then the antennas that go on top of it, which if they can afford that, they can certainly afford a stepper beam.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. If you got that much money, it doesn't matter. You're right. That's why when people say, "Man, I can't believe he spent that," I go, "If he spent it, he's got it. Don't worry about it." And even if he doesn't have it, he's paying off a big loan. But no, I just can't imagine how much money I'd have to make to somehow rationalize in my brain that I was going to spend $32,000 on a tower for a hobby.
Well, it'd be the upper part of six figures probably, where it wouldn't, affect your any other things you have going on or any other payments or whatever. Well, you wouldn't have a payment to get that much money, but you have definitely, vacation this coming week, so I'll probably check in Wednesday night.
Oh, that'd be great. Look forward to it. We always catch you on a Saturday night, so yeah, that'd be terrific. So, how many days off do you have this next week?
I've got the entire week off. I always take the week of Thanksgiving, the week of Christmas. It's just easier on me, less stressful.
Sounds like you got seniority.
I'm pretty much close to the top of the food chain.
Yeah, that's great. I imagine though that ridership falls during Thanksgiving, does it not?
No, it stays busy all the time.
I wouldn't have guessed that, but I guess you're right. There's a lot of it's not related to school; it's related to work and shopping, I suppose.
Yeah, and everything in between. So each day is unpredictable, but except being busy.
Yeah, very good. Appreciate you checking in, Jeff. And that's Whiskey Yankee 4 Golf, and he's in Madison. Good signal. Looking forward to Wednesdays. He normally can't check in on Wednesdays due to work and sleep requirements. Who else do we have north of Mount Juliet Road? All right, west of Wilson County, west of Mount Juliet Road. Waking up anybody west of Mount Juliet Road?
Whiskey 4, Alpha Whiskey Echo.
Waited till last, didn't we, John?
Yeah, finally woke up.
Yeah, very good. I think I told you one of the things that I can't believe somebody hasn't done it already, and that's that they, with all of this SDR radios and the sophistication we've had in the last 30 years, they couldn't put a way to program a time and a frequency into the radios. It automatically starts the radio, brings it to frequency, and sounds an alarm.
I may be wrong about this, but it seems like in a review of the ICOM 7610, that new SDR, that it actually has that capability.
Well, they got it from me.
Yeah, because I've never seen that before.
Well, I never have either. I just, I mean, I always joke about it, but the reason I chose 2 nets a week is not because everybody forgets. It's just that people can't. One day of the week is always a problem to somebody, but it's also the reminder system that I send out. It's because people, including myself, forget.
Yeah, I really like the 2 opportunities a week. Yeah, I mean, it is 2 chances to miss it, but it's really nice to know that that you don't have to wait till once a month or whatever.
Oh no, I agree. I think it's good. I don't know what is good. I think it's good, but since I'm the one doing the net twice a week, so I have to be here, so to speak. And others, I think, appreciate it because even they go, "Oh man, I missed Wednesday. I'll come in Saturday." I mean, there's just lots of opportunities to get on a net and see who's there and that kind of stuff, or whatever reason. It's like the guy just said. He goes, "It's better than TV."
That is probably for sure.
Well, it depends on what it is. There's shows I like to watch periodically. No, I'd rather be on the radio because I really, over the years, I've kind of learned I can sit in the house and read, or I can be doing something on the internet, researching something or working on some project, and I'll never turn the TV on. I mean, the TV could rot and I wouldn't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rare thing here. Sometimes, really the only times I find myself turning broadcast TV on, or really anything, is, when it's a heavy weather night expected.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we don't have cable, because to me, it's like throwing dollars out the window,
Exactly. In fact, most people, I don't know, maybe it's changed that I cut cable years ago, but initially it was technical because, doing a lot of video and engineering work, when you see the quality of what a broadcast HD signal looks like compared to cable, you'll never go back to cable.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. I'm still using, here's how little TV means to us. And not that we don't watch it, because we do watch it for some things. but we have an old, about a 14-year-old Hitachi projection TV. It was very good quality when it was purchased, and it's still reasonably good quality. But we don't buy Blu-ray DVDs because I can barely tell the difference on the screen because it's not that high a definition.
Yeah, you're right. And quite honestly, I don't know how many people can actually see in 4K.
I kind of had that problem, and I'll say it real quick. When I first saw HD a few years ago, and that's quite a few years ago, and I saw HD, and I was actually shocked that I didn't like it because when you're, as you know, somebody who does videography and those kinds of things, when you look at something, I don't care what it is, if you're looking across the street at the house, your lawn is not in focus, and the street's not in focus. The house is in focus, and maybe the roof's in focus, but whatever's behind it's not in focus. But on HD, on a football game, every blade of grass, every person, everything in that picture is in focus, and I found it disturbing.
Yeah, because your brain really is not used to seeing that. That's why the old original Hollywood film or motion picture experience feels so comforting to people in terms of the image, because it's only 24 frames a second, and the cameras being used were very, very shallow focus. So the background's almost always soft, and it's really much more pleasing.
Oh, I agree. In fact, current video for personal videos, I don't know what they do on commercial, but it was 29 frames.
Well, I mean, actually, the three major broadcast networks broadcast at slightly different versions of HD. But if you shot the original in what they now call 24p for 24 progressive, which matches what all 35 millimeter films have been done in since the 30s. It sort of goes back to the original programming. If you shot it in 24p where it looks like film, it'll come through on a modern television looking like film.
Yeah, like I said, you're right though. I remember, well, over the years, it's like growing up with black and white TV. You didn't know the difference, and quite honestly, you didn't care. And as it all got better over time, even if you remember, I remember the first color TV I saw. It's like you could see the red, green, blue in every pixel that was on that screen.
Oh yeah, always. I mean, it was sort of crazy. I mean, they called it fringing, and it was, when the first sets came out, it was sort of considered something you had to just sort of live with for a few years until they got it a little tighter. But, all those great TV shows back during the 50s, 60s, and 70s, the Westerns, everything, even black and white or color, all of those were originally shot in 35 millimeter film and then transferred to kinescope to video.
Oh, you mean for the current productions, they're all transferred to, I assumed they were all transferred to video, but I didn't realize they went from 35 to, because my wife said that. She says, well, my dad shot on 16 millimeter. I said, well, you know where they got the 16 millimeter? She says, no. Or 8 millimeter. I said, well, they got it from 16 millimeter, which they cut in half. And, she said, really? I said, yeah. I said, then that comes from 35 millimeter.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the 35 millimeter still cameras, like the original Nikons, which I started with. Those were actually strips of 35 millimeter motion picture film run through the camera sideways.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't realize that until after a few years of using the camera, where that 35 millimeter came from. I didn't know. But no, you're right. And I also looked up because I was going to get an 8 millimeter, super 8 millimeter camera until I saw the price of film for an 8 millimeter camera. And it's really high per 100 feet.
Yeah, and nowadays it's, even if you had the cameras, and some people still tinker with them, it is a real expensive dilemma there still are labs that will process it, but it's a bit of an ordeal. There's no more dropping off the little Super 8 reel at a Super X.
No, it's kind of dumb, really, because all they have to do is put, and I we've done it, but I'm sure you have too. You can take a video and put it through the video editing software, and you can give it through the software enhancements a film feel, and everything. It looks like somebody shot it in film.
Yeah, but going back to your original question, like if you buy a decent video camera, a digital video camera nowadays, it's going to default to 60 frames a second, which gives you that same sort of lab TV look. That's really not the way the brain sees the world. But most of those cameras can be, if you go into the settings, they'll usually have a 24p setting where you can change it. It's just most people never change it.
Oh, I didn't realize it. Yeah, that's cool. All right, very good, John. I do appreciate the class. I'd love to talk to you more about that since we're going to be producing some more videos here at the house. We don't have a studio yet. All right, thanks, John. That was John Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo, and he is in Bellevue over there southwest of Nashville. Charles, I think I heard you in there. Charles, are you still in there? All right. Anybody else west of Mount Juliet Road or west of Mount Juliet, west of Wilson County?
KM4YRF.
Boy, you came in almost dead last, huh?
I was holding out.
Yeah, well, you're doing all right. You sound good. Everything going all right for you?
Yeah, it's been a pretty good day today.
Yeah, I had another day. My biggest accomplishment was going to the dump.
Well, that was one job done.
Yeah, that's right. And then it was funny. I went over and dropped off a couple of those 5-gallon empty jugs, the ones you put a deposit down on. And then I had to, it was interesting, stupid. I felt like I was on camera. I put the 2 bottles in there and I went to grab the tickets. I don't know if you've ever done that. You get the deposit tickets from whatever the name of the company is.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Okay, when you stick the bottles in the machine, it gives you a little ticket that's a voucher for the fact you turned it in, and they knock $7 or whatever it is off of whether it is $5 or $7, and I don't know how much it is. So anyway, I had to wrestle the paper out of the machine because it was like an ordeal trying to get this paper out without ripping it off. And anyway, that was my big deal too, is getting those 2 5-gallon jugs of water. I always find that to be a pain.
Well, the only real productive thing I've done today is I went by Allen's and picked up some radio equipment he was working on for my friend in Kentucky, and that was the excitement for the day.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so now he's going to pick it up, or are you taking it up to him?
Well, actually, I'm going to meet up with his grandson either tomorrow or Monday, and then he's going to take it to him on Thanksgiving.
I got you. Well, very good, Michael. Good to hear you in there. That's Michael, Kilo Mike 4, Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. And he's in Belshire. Anybody else? Charles, are you still there?
KG4S5.
Hey, how you doing? I heard you in earlier, and then I called for you, and you weren't there.
My radio fell off the desk.
Oh, man. You need some double-sided tape or something.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting some Velcro. I think I figured out what's going on. I'm looking online. It says when you get lack of sleep, your stress hormones get higher or whatever. And I think that's what's been going on. But I'll find out Monday. And on top of that, I might have sleep apnea. So that's then it makes it hard to concentrate all day.
Oh, you're probably right, and I'm betting that if you have sleep apnea, it already gives you that difficulty with sleep. And if you don't get enough sleep, then you have the other problems that go along with it.
I mean, I still don't see how lack of sleep causes high blood pressure, but okay.
I think it's the anxiety. And again, everything kind of ties together, Charles. Getting the right amount of sleep, getting the right amount of physical exercise, having normal meals, it all just kind of works together. Avoiding alcohol and cigarettes. Everything just ties together to make for most people, a relatively normal life.
Yeah, I mean, I quit drinking 6 months ago. I figured that would help. And, I guess it's keeping it from being even worse, huh?
Yep. I quit drinking, quit smoking, and now I make my own dresses.
Make your own dresses?
It's a joke, Charles.
Okay. Hope you're not live.
I'm live, all right. It's just a joke. People can't take a joke.
No, I'm not watching right now, KD, for us.
You can watch it later. I can always edit it out, later. No, I think most people that are watching there already know me. But that's just, if you can't tell, listen, if we can't tell jokes, we're in trouble. All right. And apparently there's a lot of people who think you can't tell jokes. All righty. Anybody else? Late check-ins, any place, anywhere, please come in.
KD4 OEN, Kilo Delta 4, Oscar Echo November. This is Mary checking in from Bellshire tonight.
Ah, very good, Mary. Good to hear you. You sound great. I think, Michael, are you still on frequency?
Yes, I am.
Okay. We're still working on getting a better, bigger, or higher antenna over there?
Oh, yeah. Always bigger and better.
I'm just curious. I didn't know if Mary was aware of those discussions or not, but she got a great signal into me.
Well, I'm much happier since I got the new antenna, I'll tell you that.
Oh, you've got the higher antenna and the better one.
Yeah.
I was talking about Mary. I'm talking about Mary and Marty.
Yes, and Marty's right here. I'm going to hand him the mic right quick and let him check in tonight. We're getting some feedback here somewhere from a second radio. So excuse us for that. I'm going to hand it over to Marty. Paul and the rest of the guys, you all have a good evening and a good Sunday tomorrow. And we look forward to talking to you all later. KD4 OEN. Clear?
Yeah, very good, Mary. Thanks for checking in. Looking for Marty now.
Oh, Marty's got the Diamond 700 on his Christmas list already.
84 BQK.
Hey, Marty, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Well,
Yeah, and you guys' signal sounds great. You're like at least 10 over S9 here into Mount Juliet.
yay, that's good.
Yeah, it is good. It is good. In fact, that's my dilemma is that because I'm right in the middle of everybody, only some people way out on the fringes are weak, weaker to me. I think the worst might be S3 or S4, but almost everybody in the greater, within about 30 miles of me generally has a great signal, and yours is a great signal.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, very good. And that was Marty and Mary, KD4 Oscar Echo November and Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Quebec Kilo. And that's in that order, Mary and Marty. And they're over in Bellshire. Good to have you in there, Mary and Marty. Anyone else late check-in, please come now. Late check-ins from anywhere, anyhow. Moving on to the lurkers, lollygaggers, sandbaggers, and scanner listeners. The latter have to email me, text me, or stop by the house. All right, we don't have any of those either. Procrastinators got to come in sometime tomorrow or between now and the next net. All righty, and I'll close on that. Do we have one more chance? Anybody late check-ins? Late check-ins.
I'll take a recheck. KN4 CCQ.
Yes, what's up, Preston?
Could I go direct with John in Bellevue if he's still there?
Yeah, go ahead.
W4AWE KN4 CCQ. Yeah, go ahead. I ain't cover that, John. I just wondered if you could hear me over there in Bellevue. Over here in Possum Trot there, copy? Yeah, I've got a great copy on you. Let's see, you're like almost S7 on the S meter. I'll copy that. Good deal, man. The audio is really good over here. Can't see the S meter to give you a signal report, but audio is really good. But 73's John. I appreciate the comeback. Turn it back to K4PEW.
Yeah, very good. Good job. There's we got to remember, Preston. John has that same Diamond X700 antenna, so he can pretty much hear everything.
Copy that. Yeah, sounds good over here.
He's also running about 90 watts, so that's kind of helpful to you.
Yeah, Roger. I got 50 over here. I think that's what it's on right now.
Anyway, yeah, they both sound good to me, so you're doing great. All righty, we're any late the last chance, the last 5-second chance, or any late check-ins. All right, we got nothing. Then we'll move over to the next one, which is the buy, sell, swap, and swindle net. Anybody have anything they want to buy, sell, swap, or that's not necessarily swindle, that's just a name. Got nothing. Well, we've had several things on there. I know that Robin, who's not in tonight, he had some. If you need information on some tower parts, I can get you his email address. Anybody else have any questions or concerns about something they want to buy or sell? I was mentioning I still have a power mic, one with a 9-volt battery for a Cobra CB. I don't have the CB anymore, but I found it. It's a power mic. Anybody need one?
How much, Paul?
I'll donate
it. Okay.
Yeah, it's been sitting. I can remember when I bought it, and that was like 1978.
Need a job.
You still need a job. Well, I can't help you with that, but I hope you get one soon.
Yeah, I had a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I hope I'm not trying to sound rude, but what was the point of being live on YouTube? Did you have one?
Yeah, the point is I want them to look at me. No, that's not the point. The point is there are many stations who I want them to be able to, and they found it helpful to know, to hear what's going on when they can't hear who I'm talking to. And that would be, if you're in the northwest part and you can't hear somebody over there southeast of me, you might want to hear who is out there rather than listen to just me and then silence for the rest. So it's helpful. It also gives them an opportunity, if they can't hear it live or watch it live, they can go back later and listen to what was going on, either announcements or, in this case, just to hear the signals that I hear. And it doesn't cost me anything, and it doesn't cost anybody else anything. So I'm just glad that some people like it. Also, since they end up on YouTube for worldwide distribution, it helps promote Simplex Radio. That answer your question?
Yeah.
All right, very good. No, that's good questions. I believe me, I don't do it for. I'm kind of used to seeing myself on the air now, but it's not something I really want. That everybody gets to see me. I mean, we do videos. You've probably seen some of our videos where my face is on the screen, and I've even had people notice me at Hamfest and who recognize me from the videos. But again, it's all fun. It's all just fun stuff. If people don't like it and they make fun of me, that's good too. I don't care. I'm really in ham radio. If you haven't figured it out yet, I like to have a good time. And if that means some of the stuff I do is serious, some of it's fun, funny, jokes, whatever. But to me, ham radio is all fun because it's dealing with people. It's more about people and interaction with people than it is about radios and technology. Even though you need that, it's still about communication and people. All righty then. Nothing else on that was actually the complaint section, and Charles asked a very pertinent question. Why do I do that? And I think I answered that appropriately. And it's not for vanity reasons, believe me. If you notice, it was for vanity. I'd wear much nicer clothing, and I'd shave, and I'd brush my teeth, and I wouldn't wear ugly hats. So then we'll move on. We're going to move over we're going to close the net unless there's any questions, comments, or concern at this point. Please come now. All right, before I move over to the 2-meter sideband net, I'm going to send out a reminder, really quick reminder before those emergency preparedness nets for Wilson County. Not everybody wouldn't necessarily want to participate in that, but it'll just be a quick announcement on the email system, so make everybody aware of it. All right. Anyway, I'll be doing that. And if you give me a minute, I'm going to switch over to the other one. Thanks for all the check-ins. We had 21, and appreciate everybody who checks in. I'm guessing we have the most successful, I'm guessing that we have arguably the most successful Simplex Net that's done twice a week in the Southeast, in Tennessee, west of Knoxville at 8 o'clock.
KG4S5.
Yeah, Charles, what's up?
Are you busier in the summer months?
Am I? I'm retired. What have I got to do?
No, I mean on this net, with more check-ins.
We've actually, as time went on in this past year, in fact, just to give you an idea, since March, I did that interview with Bob Heil, and I reviewed. I was editing that so I could just put up my portion of the interview on the web, and I noticed that I told Bob that we were averaging 12 check-ins, and here we are in November, and we're averaging about 21 check-ins. So we've actually, just this year, we've increased the number of check-ins by, almost 100%. So we've made big strides, and it's been good. It's been really good.
KG4S5. I don't know if you entered the net, but I heard you on the Lebanon repeater. I have trouble getting into that one. I can't remember. I think it was a day or two ago.
Yeah, I asked, just as for getting into that Lebanon repeater, I asked the president of the club over there about that, because Michael over in Belshire has the same problem, and he told the guy in Lebanon told me that it's very possible that the way the antenna, it's apparently got some issues about where it is on the tower, and it actually doesn't hear things too well from that direction. So that's probably the reason you have a problem.
I can hear it full quiet just fine. I just can't get into it.
No, apparently it doesn't hear things too well from that northwest position. I don't know what the deal is. I've never seen the tower or the antenna, but they've been working to put up a new antenna, which I guess they're hoping they can get that up soon. But anyway, let me close out this and we'll move over to that net. We've taken long enough. It's 17 minutes after 9. So you guys have a great night. On those that are leaving us from the 2 meter in the buy, sell, swap, and swindle net. But we're going to move over to the 2 meter sideband net. I better turn on my radio. Very good. You guys have a great night. And I'm going to go on sideband here momentarily. All righty, this is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey with the sideband portion of the 2 meter net. Let me just go ahead and start taking check-ins from the north. Do we have anybody up north? 2 meter sideband 144-200 for the Mount Juliet Simplex Net. Anybody from the west, please come down. Anybody from the south? 144-200 from the south, please come down. So far, I got nothing. Anybody from the east? Anywhere, please come down. I got nothing. 144-200 is what I said, I believe. 144-240, that's right. There we go. That's on the wrong frequency. This K4 PEW, the Mount Juliet Simplex Net on 2 meter sideband. Who do we have from the north? All righty, from the west. Do we have anybody from the western portion of west of Mount Juliet? Please come in. From the south, anybody?
Kilo Echo 4, Tango Yankee Juliet.
Hey, Jim, I got nobody else but you in at the moment. You didn't hear anybody, did you?
No, they might not have paid attention when you gave the frequency. Last week it was 144.220. This week you gave 144.240. They might not have paid attention.
Well, I can try. Let me go down to 220 and see what it does. It's K4PEW. Is anybody down here on this frequency? K4PEW. No, nothing heard. Nobody there?
And Mike UTH outside of Woodbury too there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Now, you're using a vertical polarized beam.
QSL. I can go horizontal if you want.
Do that real quick. Let me hear the difference.
Yeah, that's my horizontal Yagi. Pointing in the same direction. All I did was switch beams there. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and switch back.
Obviously, you're vertically polarized. Over.
Yeah. Vertically on the vertical. How's that? And you dropped about 6 or 7 units.
Yeah, it's a huge difference, cross polarization when you get up here on VHF. But I have fun with it. You know, as far as sideband on 2 meters go, on a regular basis in the mornings, talk down in Alabama and up into Kentucky. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, I've still got mine laying on the ground. My son's coming into town for Thanksgiving weekend, and I have intentions of getting it back up in the air. And that's an 11 element, and I'm going to go ahead and lay that horizontally. And then I got a 4 element I'm going to put on top of that and use that one vertically. And see what we can do with that.
That sounds like a good plan. What I plan on doing is taking these two 10 elements and stacking them vertically and getting a M² 12 element to mount horizontal. That's the plan. Of course, it may take a little while to put it in. Maybe springtime before I get all the parts and pieces and put it together there. Over.
Now, you have this up on a tower? How high?
No, I just got up on top of the roof. It's, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 feet above my roof. But I'm sitting at 1,230 feet elevation and really nothing else around me. I live on a ridge, so I got good height.
Did I lose control of that?
A little bit, Paul. It's me and K1 SPD.
Yeah, is there nobody else in there besides Scott?
No, that's it, just us two.
Yeah, I think I threw everybody a curve with the other frequency.
That's why I double checked with you.
All right, let's get back out of that control, KE4TYJ.
Yeah, very good, Scott. Hey, Jim, I couldn't. It was barely discernible the difference to me on your whether it went horizontal or vertical.
Yeah, I think that has a testament to do with how high you are and how well we can actually talk to one another. And I'm pointing right at you. But, you know, if it does make a huge difference on other people.
Oh, I know it does for, farther distances, absolutely. All right, then we'll close down this portion of the mini USB net.
Well, that's all. I mean, we got the whole county covered between me and Scott and you.
There you go. We got Rutherford, and you're in Cannon County, and then Wilson County. There you go.
Yeah, we got it all good. We're good. All right, Paul, good job tonight. Thank you very much for having it. And I reckon we'll QSY back over to FM.
I shall be there. K4PEW. Good night, Scott. Good night, Jim. Appreciate the 3 check-ins total. Have a good one.
All right, guys. We'll talk later on K1SP. I think there's somebody else out there, Paul, before you get away there, Paul.
See, there was somebody else in there?
Me and Scott. Somebody double with Scott. The other station, go ahead.
I think that was me.
No, I heard him also. Other station, go ahead. TWI. It's Wes, KE4TWI.
Ah, there you go, Wes. How you doing? You sound good.
I could not get the DAMN coax TL259 to screw onto the back of the radio, so a little aggravating, but everybody sounded good. But I switched from my horizontal loop to the vertical, and everybody came up. KE4TWI.
Yeah, you sound good, and yeah, you just need an antenna switch, man.
That's like the R word. I bought one, made life easier.
It does make it easier, that's for sure.
And I cannot afford any more losses. I'm in a valley.
Yeah, I got you. Well, very good, Wes. I'm glad you're in there, and rounds it out to 4 people now, so we did all right.
KB9RTK.
5 people. We hear Frank in there, too.
I'm here. You moved around on me.
Yeah, I forgot that I had used a different frequency for the last net, and then to make matters worse, I forgot what frequency I said, and I went in at 144.200.
Yeah, and then by the time I got there, because I was watching the YouTube still, you moved back to this one.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I screwed up. Hey, this isn't a profession.
Hey, no problem.
We got you straight anyways, Paul. KE4TYJ.
Yeah, very good. And of course, we had Wes, KE4TWI. And so that makes what? 1, 2, 3, 4. That makes 5 of us. We're doing great.
6 KG4, Maze. Kevin.
All righty. Another. You see, we're holding out till the end again.
Yeah, gotta try to be special. Hey, I'm listening on 29.6 FM if anybody wants to try. 29.6? I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, we
horizontal points west. That's all I've got. I'll have a
everybody's
vertical
moving
for
around.
10
So
meters.
closing out the net. You guys have a great night. Appreciate the participation. I hope everybody's doing going to do well this week. We'll have another net. What's today? Saturday. We should have one Wednesday night. I don't see any reason why not. I got a couple of relatives coming in, but I don't know when. So we'll see. So you guys have a great night. Great net. Had a good time as always. Hope everybody had fun, and we'll see you later.